Hello everyone, I'm Geek Freak and welcome to the video. How many of you would love to have the perfect Dragon Ball Z box set? Let's just say for example that you was put in charge in creating the perfect Dragon Ball Z box set. And let's just say for example that you knew what Dragon Ball Z fans wanted on this box set. Like for example, you knew what ratio you wanted, you knew what subs and dubs you wanted, you knew what colours you wanted, and also you was keeping in mind that this is also what the fan base also wanted. And this is what this video is going to be about. I am going to give you guys a list of things I would like to have in my perfect Dragon Ball Z box set. But before I do that, there is one thing I want to bring up, and that is the orange bricks. And I'm just going to say it, the orange bricks are no good. There is a lot of controversy with this box set series, and I'm just going to have to be honest with you guys, it's very hard for me to explain what's wrong with the orange bricks. But I did screenshot this from the Dragon Ball Z Wikipedia page, and it tells us what is wrong with the orange bricks. If you guys want to pause this video and read it, please go ahead now. Okay, if you guys are finished, let's continue. Now, if you guys did read the screen, or you went to Dragon Ball Z Wiki to read up on the controversy, or why the orange bricks aren't so good, you'll understand where I'm coming from. And obviously, the big fans of Dragon Ball Z knows what I'm talking about. But I'll summarize the problems. And the first one is a big one, and it is the cropping. This is the one thing that pissed me off the most when it came to the orange bricks. And it isn't just the orange bricks, but all releases in general when producers decides to crop the picture. Because here's the thing, the original Dragon Ball Z series was made for a TV that had a 4:3 ratio. And now these days we have a 16:9 ratio TVs. And the orange bricks picture was stretched out to fit a 16:9 ratio TV. And not only that, they also cropped the top and bottom. The orange bricks are notorious for its cropping because we are missing 20% of the picture. We are missing things that are supposed to be there. And loads of YouTubers like Geekdom 101 has pointed this out. And it isn't just the orange bricks, but it's also other releases too. And hell, even the 30th anniversary box set had this problem. I mean, it's gone to a point where I don't even know which home release has the perfect picture where it shows everything. Because here's the thing, they don't need to crop it. They don't need to adjust the picture. They don't need to make it into a 16:9 ratio. True fans of the series want it in a 4:3 non-cropped ratio. And even if we want it in a 16:9 ratio, we fans can fix that with our TVs. Most TVs today can change the ratio of any picture. TVs, DVDs, etc. It's really not all that hard. Hell, even I can do it on my TV. I can change the ratio from a 4:3 to a 16:9, and even doing that, I'm filling up the entire screen without any crops. So I'm going to say this to Funimation or whoever's going to produce more Dragon Ball Z releases. Give us the full picture in 4:3 ratio and absolutely no cropping. Give us the full picture. Now the next thing I wanted to talk about is the grain and also the accuracy. But another YouTuber called Anime AJ made a video about this. He was talking about the 30th anniversary Dragon Ball Z box set. What's wrong with it, the cropping, the colours. I'll leave a link in the description box below to that video. But here's what he had to say about the grain and the accuracy. Here it is.
Let's talk about grain. Grain is a scary word for people not massively into video because grain equals not clean and not clean equals bad, and actually that's just not the case at all. Every cartoon you watched back in the day was shot on film, and even now a large majority of films are still shot on actual film stock. Film comes with grain, and grain is an inherent part of film and therefore the image. Different film stocks have different levels of grain. It's something directors think about a lot because it goes a long way in dictating the look of your series. While there are back and forth debates about whether grain in animation is actually an artistic choice or just a byproduct of having to shoot on the film, one thing that remains objectively true is that grain holds details and is what makes up the image. Even now, when shooting digitally, you'll still get some digital noise because that's just how video works. To remove grain, you can use digital noise reduction, or DNR. It's basically an algorithm that blurs away the grain, approximating color and detail information, and really everything that's a part of that original grain. It's very hit and miss when it comes to its application though, and with live action footage in particular, you'll generally find people end up looking like weird wax figures. It's not a good look. With animation, you can actually remove the grain, and the results can often look okay. For example, Dragon Ball Kai's remaster, it's not bad, some minor texture is smoothed away from the backgrounds, but the only real negative is that the image is left looking a little bit blurry. On the flip side, you can do it terribly, and that's Funimation's Blu-rays, both with this set and the last one. In fact, their approach is more or less identical. If you've seen the season sets, then you've more or less seen what this set is being advertised as. They've wiped away the grain with a pretty terrible noise reduction solution that has left behind this horrible smeary look where the lines look like they're drawn with watercolor paint. They're very aware they fucked up the clarity because they've then gone and applied a sharpening filter to the image, which hasn't actually done anything beyond flattening the frame into the most unappealing detailless blob. Somehow this is so bad that the line clarity on a DVD is better than the Blu-ray. I would rather watch my Dragon boxes originally produced in 2003 than these sets. That's how bad this is. Lastly, the color, the contrast, the dark detail. Dragon Ball Z's color design is not this super saturated, contrasty, punchy crap that Funimation and YouTube fan remasters would have you believe. It's pretty subdued on the whole. It's not running around screaming with blisteringly red geese or crazy royal blue skies. It's actually pretty restrained, and you can see that in its purest form on the actual animation cells. When Funimation do what they do and jack up the colours and contrast, they obliterate the dark detail in shadowy areas and blow out the skin tones into pasty white ghouls. They destroy any sort of nuance the colour design had by turning everything into what might as well be primary colours.
That was a 3-minute clip made by Anime AJ. Please go and watch the rest of the video. I'll leave a link in the description box below to that video. Anime AJ makes great stuff, and the rest of the video is very informative. Now, back to the video. So yeah, basically the grain. Keep that in. And also, don't change the colour. Don't change a single thing in the box sets. We want the grain in, and we don't want the colours being messed around. Give us the original Japanese colours. Just don't change anything. No cropping, leave the grain in, and leave the original colours. Because again, we can tidy this up on our TVs. We can use contrast, we can brighten it up. What they did to the orange bricks, they completely ruined the picture. Smudged lines, bleeding colours. So again, no cropping, leave it in its original 4:3 ratio. Again, no cropping, just the original 4:3 ratio. Keep the grain in, and we want the original Japanese colours. Now, there are YouTubers out there that goes into detail about this sort of thing. You know, the problems with the cropping, the grain, etc, etc. I'll give you a few of their names. There's Tony Strong Style, Geekdom 101, Anime AJ, Mosako X. I'll leave a link in the description box below to those videos in a list that I made. And Tony Strong Style is the first one that I suggest you guys go and watch first. And now that I've got the 4 main ones out the way, which I'm sure the entirety of the fan base will agree with, it's time to put my 2 cents on what I would like to see in a Dragon Ball Z box set. And just to let you guys know, these are my personal opinions of what I would like to see in a Dragon Ball Z box set. And if I've missed anything, please leave comments in the comment section below just to let me know, and say why you think the things I put on here are a good idea or a bad idea. And so, with all that's said and done, let's resume with the list. Number 1. Now the first one I would like to talk about is the dub and sub. Now obviously I wanted the Japanese version, background music, and the Japanese voices, and I would also like the English Funimation dub with the Bruce Faulkner score, but we're not finished yet. There's also another dub that I want with this box set, and that dub is the Oceans dub. That includes the voice dub and the background music. Now to those of you who don't know what the Ocean dub is, or those of you who can't remember, let me show you why I love the Ocean dub.
I was observing your battle with Kakarot. So, I've seen your energy-absorbing technique. Oh well, if I'm unable to blast you away, I'll just have to pound you into a pulp, that's all.
You know some of my moves, but I know every one of yours, Vegeta. Oh yes, Dr. Jarrow studied you very thoroughly.
Oh, is that a fact? Then why were you so surprised when Kakarot changed into a Super Saiyan? I'll tell you why. Because your database doesn't cover the battles we had in space. Your careless creator excluded the most important chapter that you need in your memory banks.
Oh?
Quite right, my friend. Now tell me, does a machine like you ever experience fear?
You've got to be kidding! I don't believe it!
Not him as well!
Whoa! You know who's joined the Super Saiyan Club? He is on our side, isn't he?
How freaking awesome is that? I love Brian Drummond as Vegeta. And I'm not going to lie, I actually like Android 19's voice as well. I know there's a lot of people who complains about Android 19's voice in the Ocean dub, but I actually do prefer the Ocean dub 19 than the Funimation 19. There is a lot more personality in Ocean dub's 19 than there is in the Funimation dub 19. But you know, that's my personal opinion. So yes, I would like the Japanese dub, I would like the Funimation dub with the Bruce Folklore score, and I would like the Ocean dub with the music score. Now, to those of you who are curious, that music that was going on in the clip I just showed you, when Vegeta was facing off against 19, the music is called The Army. So if you guys want to go and check that out, go and look up Dragon Ball Z Ocean dub The Army. And so with all that said, let's move on to number 2. Now, I think this next one will be really fun. I would like to have optional audio. And what I mean by optional audio is when you put other audio on top of other audios. Let me give you guys an example. How cool would it be to have the Bruce Folklore score with the Japanese dub? Like this, for example. And how cool would it be to have the Japanese score with the English dub? Like this, for example.
Where am I? Where's my dad? This is sour.
Gohan! No! No! Until now, training you was out of vengeance, making you worthy enough to be my opponent. But something's changed. No matter what happens to you, Gohan, I will always be there to protect you.
And also, can you imagine if we add the Ocean dub with the score? We could put the Japanese dub on the Ocean's dub score, and we could put the Ocean's dub on top of the Bruce Folklore score. You know, you guys get the idea. That would be awesome to do. But I'm still not done with the optional audio. Now, as many of you know, Dragon Ball Z has been voiced by a lot of people. A few people have voiced Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, etc, etc. And my favourite voice of Vegeta is Brian Drummond, which was in the Ocean dub. What I'm trying to get at is, what if we had the option of changing the characters' voices? We could go into the extra menu and choose which voice actor we could have for the characters. Like for example, let's just say for example that this was the Saiyan Saga box set, and if I was to go on to the audio settings, and I had the option of what score I wanted, like the Bruce Folkler score, or the Ocean dub score, or the Japanese score. I had a choice between those three options, and I chose the Ocean score, and there was also the voice actor options, and I had the options of choosing any character's voice actor, from Sean Schimmel to Ian James Collett, or Kirby Morrow, or Peter Columbus. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Or for Vegeta, there's Brian Drummond or Christopher Sabat. And this goes for all the characters inside the entire series. Or hell, even have a Japanese voice actor talk and the other voice actors could be in English. You could have so much fun with this. Choosing whatever score you want, choosing whatever voice actor you want. To me, that would be so much fun. But if that's impossible to do, I'll just settle for the Japanese dub and score, the Funimation dub and the Bruce Folkler score, and the Ocean dub and its score. I mean, this is just a fun little idea I had in my head, but if they could do this, that would be fun. And with that said, let's move on to number 3. Despite the Orange Brick's flaws, there was a few things that I did like about them, and one of those things was its marathon mode. Now to those of you who have the Orange Bricks, you know what I'm talking about, but for those of you who don't know, the Orange Bricks add a mode where you can watch the episodes constantly without openings or credits or those damn high catches that you would get every 10 minutes, but I'll get to those later. The marathon would show the opening to the first episode, and then after that, all we get is episode after episode after episode without any more openings or credits, no recaps or next time on Dragon Ball Z. It's just a continual watch of the show, back to back with no distractions. I mean, the last episode of the marathon could have credits with it, just to tell the viewer that the marathon is over. Now, I'm not saying that I only want a marathon option. I would love to have every single episode with an opening and the credits, minus the eye catches, which leads me to number 4. Please get rid of these goddamn eye catches. On the Orange Bricks, these things are so goddamn annoying. Every 10 minutes, we get this. I know what these are. These are sequences telling the audience that Dragon Ball Z will be right back, or Dragon Ball will be right back, or Dragon Ball GT will be right back. Seriously, these things are so goddamn annoying, and it's on every single episode, and we don't need them in the episodes. We're not watching them on TV, we are watching them on a DVD where we can pause at any point we want. And yes, I know they're part of the episodes, as they were originally shown on TV, but I'm just going to say it again. I don't want these things on the episodes. Just put these eye catchers in the extra section, not on the actual episodes themselves. Just cut them out. They are very, very annoying. Don't put them in the marathon and don't put them in the full episodes. Just leave them out. And speaking of leaving out, let's move on to number 5. No advertisements at the beginning of the disc. Good God, these things are so annoying. You know when you put in a disc and you're waiting to get to the main menu, you'll first have a sign saying, warning, something about copyright and FBI and so on and so forth. That I don't mind. But after that, we have advertisements telling us which movies there are or other series. And the worst part, the absolute worst part is, you can't fast forward over them or skip them. You have to watch them all the way through in order to get to the main menu. And that sucks. This is Dragon Ball. Millions of people love this series, and we all want to get to the main menu as fast as we can. And this would be a special collection, so absolutely no advertisements at the beginning of a disc. We got this collection in order to watch Dragon Ball. And if you want to show advertisements, put them in the extra section and show advertisements of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Kai, and Dragon Ball Super and the Dragon Ball movies. Those advertisements are okay, but only if they're in the extra section. Not at the beginning of a disc, but in the extra section. And I think most fans would agree with me on that. Speaking of agreeing with me, let's move on to number 6. Now in number 6, it's going to be obvious. We know we're going to get Cha La Head Chala and We Got Power for the openings of every episode. But I would also like them to add this.
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, come get Dragon Ball Z.
And this. And this.
Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z.
Seriously, what fan would say no to this? Rock the Dragon and Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. And the Bruce Folklore opening? These openings would be optional. We can choose any of these 5 openings to be at the beginning of every episode. I mean, come on, this is a no-brainer. Who wouldn't want these openings? They just bring forth the nostalgia. These openings are pumping you up for the oncoming episode. And I know for a fact that the fans would love these in their box sets. So yeah, I would like these openings to be optional for me to play at the beginning of every episode. Instead of Cha La Head Chala, I could have Dragon, Rock the Dragon, Dragon Ball Z. Or instead of We Got Power, I could play Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. This would be phenomenal, and I would like them in the box sets. And with that said, let's move on to number 7. Now, with the orange bricks, I noticed that there was a few audio problems. I'm going to play a clip from you guys, and I want you guys to listen very carefully. This clip will have the Funimation dub with the Japanese score.
Easy.
Now, here's the Bruce Folklore score with the Funimation dub. Did you guys notice? The Japanese score as the sound effects when Vegeta was running, and when he pressed the buttons to open the door, they was making sounds. But with the Bruce Folklore score, those sounds are gone. And it isn't just this scene, it's other scenes in general. They should go through the entire series and make sure all the sound effects are in there, and making sure all the voices match up. You guys get it, you know what I'm talking about. The audio just needs a bit of cleaning up. So yeah, with all said and done, let's move on to the next one. Number 8. I would like the intros and outros left in the DVDs. You guys know what I'm talking about, the last time on Dragon Ball Z. Now, I know for a fact that these things are in the series. Like this, for example.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Gohan felt sure he had failed and that the Earth would soon be lost. But then came a voice.
You've got to be joking. Giving up already? Well, that's nothing like the Gohan I know.
Dad, where are you?
Yes, it was Goku, communicating from the other world with the help of King Kai. And he was convinced that all Gohan needed was a little reassurance.
Trust yourself, Gohan. It may feel like Cell weakened you, but what's really draining all your strength is your own doubt.
Okay, it's all starting to become clear now.
Now, I know for a fact that these are in the series. It's recapping what happened in the previous episode. I know for a fact that these are going to be on the DVD, but I would also like the next time on Dragon Ball Z You know, when the narrator gives us a narrative preview of what's going to happen in the next episode? Well, it's basically this.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z, Gohan's muscles erupt with his newly bridled power, and Cell sends his children to test the boy's strength all at once. The Cell Juniors reveal they too know the Z-Fighter's special moves, but it's too little too late, and Gohan is prepared to destroy.
Now, I have checked my orange bricks, and they don't have the previews of what's going to happen in the next episode. So yeah, I would like the previews of what's going to happen next in the next episode. And obviously, I don't want this on the marathon mode, I just want it on all episodes. For me, I just love the previews on what's going to happen next time. Again, these last times and next times won't be on the marathon mode. They will just be on the individual episodes. But you know, that's my personal opinion. I really do like the last times and next times. And so, on to the next one. Number 9. Now for number 9, I was thinking of something else what we could put in the extras. Now I know we could put trailers for Dragon Ball Super, or the Dragon Ball movies, and stuff like that. But in the extras, what if we put in the Dragon Ball specials? And when I mean specials, I'm talking about OVAs, mini-movies, public announcements. Let me show you what I mean. Do you guys remember that special, Dragon Ball, Son Goku and his friends return? You know, that short where we get to finally meet Vegeta's brother Tobble. Well, what if this was put in with the Dragon Ball Z box set, all dubbed and everything? And it isn't just that. What if they put in the 2 OVAs, Dragon Ball, the plan to eradicate the Saiyans? And there are 2 versions of this. The original was made in 1993, and it's about 60 minutes. And the other version was rewritten into a new OVA, and it was put on the game Raging Blast 2. And also, the Dragon Ball series has also done promotions. You know, public announcements. And one of them was promoting traffic safety. And there was another promotion where there was firefighters for a day, and they was teaching people the dangers of fires. And there was another special called Dragon Ball Z Summer Vacation Special. And there was another one, a special OVA that was 20 minutes long, and it was called The World of Dragon Ball Z. And there was a Dragon Ball video game that was completely animated, and it was called Dragon Ball Z Gather Together Goku's World. And there was a TV special called Looking Back at It All, the Dragon Ball Z Year-End Show. And there was another one where it teaches you the history of Japan, and there was using Dragon Ball characters to depict real-life people. And for all I know, there could actually be more of these specials and OVAs out there. I say we should get them all and put them into this box set, and put them in the extra section. I would love to have these part of the box set. And hell, even some of these OVAs and specials are part of the Dragon Ball Z canon. So yeah, I definitely think that these things should be added. And speaking of being added to the extras, here are a few other things that I think should most definitely be in with the extras, which leads me into number 10. Every single bumper that was promoting Dragon Ball Z on TV. If you guys don't know what a bumper is, well, have a look at this.
The saga continues in new episodes of Dragon Ball Z. After 3,000 years, a Super Saiyan has arrived and is determined to put an end to Frieza's reign. Is he the savior?
The legend, my father, a Super Saiyan.
I am the hope of the universe. I am protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth.
All is revealed in brand new episodes of Dragon Ball Z next Monday, 5 p.m. on Cartoon Network.
Basically, these things were promoting Dragon Ball Z back in the early 2000s. And even though they were promotions, I really, genuinely loved watching these things. And obviously this is the UK version. But saying that, that doesn't mean I don't want to see the USA versions. I wouldn't mind having those in a bundle, as long as we get the UK ones. One of my personal favourites was this one bumper where this announcer was shouting, "Time to play the game! The Cell game's 1 whole hour on Dragon Ball Z! Only on Toonami." I would show you a clip, but I just can't find it. If you guys know where the full bumper is to that, please let me know in the comment sections below. However, the one I'm going to show you now is possibly my favourite one. Here it is. Holy hell. I remember back in the day when I first was watching Dragon Ball Z, and it was during the Android saga, and when I saw this promotion on TV, and obviously they was talking about Cell, but at the time I did not know what the hell he was talking about. And then when the bumper was about to end, we saw a picture of First Form Cell. But at the time, I didn't know what the hell it was. This was a very, very awesome bumper. In fact, all the bumpers were good. If they could put the USA and the UK ones into these box sets and put them into the extra section, that would be awesome. I love these bumpers and I think they should be in with the box set. Now that this one's done, on to the next one. Number 11. Now, as much as I hate the orange bricks, they do have a few things that I do like. Like for example, the marathon mode, which I did mention on this list. And the other thing was the booklets that came with the DVDs. And in every season box, you would get a booklet that gives a summary of each episode that's in that season's box set. And they would also give summaries of characters, villains, heroes, that sort of thing. And I would really like them to do this with the season's box sets. However, there is a few things that I would change. Okay, let's just say for example, that the orange bricks is everything I want for the perfect box set. Everything was done exactly the way I wanted on the discs. And for the finishing touches, they decided to put these booklets inside of the season box sets, but with a twist. Let's just say for example that season 1 had one of these booklets, but it didn't contain any information about season 1, but instead it contained information on what happened in the original series of Dragon Ball, like how Goku met Bulma, or how Goku destroyed the Red Ribbon Army, or how well he fought in the tournaments, or his battle with King Piccolo. These booklets would be sort of last time on Dragon Ball. This is what happened before you got to Z, and it contained all that information. And when it came to season 2 of Dragon Ball Z, that season's booklet could contain what happened in Dragon Ball Z Season 1, and Season 3's booklet will contain information on what happened in Season 2, and in Season 4's booklet will contain what happened in Season 3. And the cycle continues until you get to Season 9. Now the reason I don't want booklets that will contain the same information of the season I'm going to watch, these booklets will contain information on what happened in the previous season boxes. So that way, if anybody asks what the hell's going on, let's just say for example somebody bought Season 2 and they started watching that before they watched Season 1, they will have the booklet containing what happened in Season 1. And yes, I know for a fact that there's loads of people who knows what Dragon Ball Z is, but what if someone started getting into Dragon Ball Z and they only got Season 2 or Season 3 and they started watching it from there? So if you ask me, I think a booklet that contains information on what happened in the previous seasons is a good idea. But you know what, that's just my opinion. So with all that said and done, let's resume to number 12. Now, when it comes to the covers of the Dragon Ball box sets, I wasn't really a fan of the Orange Bricks' designs. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them are pretty good, but some of them I thought ruined the air of mystery to them. I mean, let's have a look at Season 1 for a moment. This one has Vegeta in it, which is a good start, because this season is going to be about the Saiyans. Now, when it comes to the second season, this one has Goku on it. But if memory serves, Goku is on his way to Namek. He isn't the central character of the series in this season. That honor goes to Gohan and Krillin. And you could also say the same thing with Vegeta, because most of the important stuff is centered around those three. So if I was to have my perfect cover, I think Gohan and Krillin should be in the front, and Goku is in the corner, and Vegeta is also in the other corner in the background. Okay, I know I'm going on and on about the orange bricks, so I'm going to stop right there. I think the 30th anniversary box set covers look amazing. The only two things I would change is Frieza in his first form and Imperfect Cell on the other one, instead of his perfect form, or Frieza's final form. That, my friends, would be the perfect covers. And with that said, let's move on to number 13. Now, a box set has to look amazing, and I'm just going to be honest, I think the 30th anniversary box set looks amazing. If I had my perfect DVDs going to those things, I would be happy. That box set looks a lot better than the orange bricks. So yeah, I want my perfect DVD collection of Dragon Ball Z housed in the 30th anniversary box set. And I'm not being lazy, I really do think that this box set looks nice. The only problem is the discs themselves inside of it. And I'm not being lazy, I generally do like the look of the 30th anniversary box set. And if my perfect DVDs was to go on those things, it would be perfect. It's much, much, much better than those flimsy orange bricks. So yeah, with all said and done, let's resume to number 14. 14. Okay, number 14 and 15 is going to be for extras. And the first extra I would like to see is interview with the cast, interview with Akira Toriyama, people who have worked with this series for a long time. People who have worked with this series for a very long time. I would like to know what they think about the series. Like, how did it affect their lives? How did they become the voice of the character? What did the creators want to achieve? Are there episodes and characters that they like or hate? The voice of Goku, the voice of Vegeta, Frieza, etc, etc. I would like to hear their side of the story. Interviews can be very informative and very fun to watch. So yeah, let's have a few of those. And so, let's move on to the next one. Number 15. A short documentary on the making of this box set. Let's just say the producers who create these discs heard the fans' calls for a remake and distribution of Dragon Ball Z, and they wanted to make everything perfect for Dragon Ball Z. They could go through the steps of why they're re-releasing it, the process, fixing things, reading out what people want in these box sets, etc, etc. For me, I just think it would be really interesting to see how they would make these DVDs. I would love to see a step-by-step documentary how they would make this DVD box set, from beginning all the way to the end. And again, this would be in the extra section. I mean, you know that TV program you see on one of the Discovery channels? And there's this show called How It's Made? Well, I'd like to see the process on how they would make the DVD. I think that would be fun to watch. Like, here's another example. They show us exactly what fans want, like no cropping, wanting it in its 4:3 ratio, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a documentary there. And so, on to the next one. Number 16. 100% no censors. I want this series to be 100% uncensored. I don't want none of that Dragon Ball Kai bull crap, where you censor the blood, you censor the violence, or anything like that. I want this DVD box set to be 100% uncensored. And absolutely no blue popo. Show the whole series uncut, uncensored, nothing taken out, because I know for a fact in this day and age, because of the PC culture or someone might get offended, they actually might do this. But here's the thing, this is for the Dragon Ball Z community, the fans who love the series. It isn't for those who hate it because it offends them, or, oh, they don't like the look of blood, or they find Mr. Popo offensive, or, oh, it's too violent. We want everything left in, and nothing taken out. And if anybody does have a problem with it, well, here's the thing, they don't have to watch it. It's for the Dragon Ball Z fans. So yeah, absolutely no censorship. Make it uncensored, uncut, like it originally aired. Absolutely no censors. And now that I've made that clear, let's move on to the final one. Number 17. The DVD should be fan approved. Okay, technically this isn't on the DVD, but here's the thing. A lot of Dragon Ball Z fans have been complaining for years that we didn't get the right versions, or the colour looks off, we don't want no cropping, we want it in 4:3, or the picture looks terrible. And here's the thing, I know for a fact that asking all of the individual fans of what they want on a box set, it would take up too much time, or there would be complications, or when an idea conflicts with another person's idea, it would be a right mess. However, I do have an idea on how we can make this box set fan approved with fewer complications. We get the biggest Dragon Ball YouTubers together, such as Geekdom 101, Team 4 Star, Expert Games, Dragon Ball Nation, Unreal Gaming, Black and Fist, Laughingstock Media. I think the top 7 Dragon Ball YouTubers should be picked to represent the Dragon Ball community, and the people who is working on this DVD, they will ask these 7 people, okay guys, we've heard your complaints for years, we're going to cave in and we're going to ask you guys what you want on these Dragon Ball Z DVDs. Now I know for a fact people like Geekdom or Team 4 Star, etc, etc, will know what to say to the developers of this DVD box set. But let's just say 7 of these YouTubers made a video and they was asking us, the viewers, on what we would like on this Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z box set. Now I've already said what I would like to see on this box set, and the obvious stuff we want to see, like no cropping, we want to see it in its 4:3 ratio, we want to see it in its original Japanese colours, leaving the grain, you know, all the obvious stuff. And it's this obvious stuff is what needs to come first. I mean, we can say, oh, add the OVAs in there, or, oh, leave out the eye catchers. Well, actually, the eye catchers have got to go. Those damn eye catchers really must go. Anyways, continuing. Anyways, yeah, you get the point. They need to deal with the stuff that really matters first before they put any extras in. Again, no cropping, we want it in its 4:3 ratio, leave the grain in, and the original Japanese colours. And being uncut, no censors. You guys get, you know what I'm talking about. And then, when the important stuff's done, they could ask individual fans on what we would like in the box sets. And these YouTubers could make a case on why these things could be on the box set and why some other things shouldn't be on the box set. These YouTubers could ask us what we want in the box sets, and then after when a month goes by and they're looking at our comments, they will choose on what goes onto the DVD. Like for example, someone could say, oh, I would like the ocean dub. Or someone else could say, oh, I would like to see the old bumpers. And someone else could say, oh, get rid of those goddamn eye catchers. Or someone else could say, oh, put in the OVAs and TV specials. You know, stuff like that. And when these YouTubers have chosen what should go onto the DVDs, from us individual fans, they should make a video saying, okay, this can't be in the box set, but this can be in the box set, and all this has been finalized, and all 7 of us have agreed. And then as soon as they've made this video and published it, the 7 Dragon Ball YouTubers will go to the producers of these DVDs and say, okay, this is what we want, this is what the fans want, please clean this up, please add this, no cropping, leave the grain in, leave the colours, we want the ocean dub, etc, etc. And once the distributors of this DVD gets all the information from the fans, they'll start working on it, and when they've put everything inside of this DVD of what we want for our Dragon Ball Z box set, and it's ready to be sold, the producers or the distributors make a commercial. We are releasing the ultimate Dragon Ball Z box set in 4:3 ratio, no cropping, in original colours with grain, all cleaned up, uncensored, and with loads of extras. This DVD Dragon Ball Z box set has been approved by the top 7 Dragon Ball Z YouTubers: Geekdom 101, Team 4-Star, Black and Fist, etc, etc, you guys get. So that way, fans will know that this box set will be the perfect Dragon Ball Z box set. Everybody wins. The companies will get high praise from YouTubers, and these YouTubers will say, hey guys, go and get this box set. It is the best Dragon Ball Z box set ever. The fans will have what they want, and the company who distributes these things will make a lot of money. Everybody wins. Now, there's one more thing I'd like to say before I go. I know for a fact there's going to be people out there who's going to probably complain because the picture is in its 4:3 ratio instead of a 16:9 ratio. And some people might complain saying, oh, why is this thing in a 4:3 instead of a 16:9? And to sort this problem out, the distributors could put in a little card or a little pamphlet saying that the picture was meant to be in a 4:3 ratio. But if they want to change the ratio, all they have to do is just give instructions on how to make the picture a 16:9 by using the remote. And this pamphlet could say other things like why there's grain inside of it and all the other stuff that some people might complain about. All they have to do is just write it in a little pamphlet explaining why the picture is the way it is and what they could do to improve the picture. We can do it ourselves with the TV remote. We can change the colours and we can change the ratio. It's that simple. And that's it from me. What do you guys think of this idea? Do you like these ideas? What would you guys add? What would you guys like to leave out? Please leave comments in the comment sections below. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching, and if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions or responses or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. And if you guys want to follow me on my social medias, I'm on minds.com, Twitch, Dailymotion and Hatron, Reddit, BitChute, aka the new YouTube, DeviantArt, Discord, VidMe, Gab, Twitter, Tumblr, Patreon, GoFundMe, PayPal, and my other social medias are down there in the description box below, so if you want to go and check them out, please do. And don't forget to subscribe and share this video. And please go and check out my new skeptic channel, Gypsy Freak. It's also down there in the description box below. Peace out.